Hello everyone, my name is Yilong Huang. Today is my great honor to be here to talk about the presentation on the analysis of the ethical dilemma and the leaderships for Patrick Poena, a case study of the total energies, the coup in Myanmar, with team members Li Jintong, Zhang Zhiyuan, and Liu Jian. Let's look at the table of the contents. Our presentation is divided into the 9 parts. I will illustrate first part and second part, introduction and background. And my team members will talk about remaining parts. Let's begin with introduction. There are 4 objectives of the presentation. First, we will examine the Patrick Poena's leadership practice, style, and impact. And second, we will discuss and analyze the ethical dilemma for Patrick Poena. And third, we will analyze Patrick Poena's decision-making and leadership style and the development level of the followers through the theoretical underpinning. Importantly, we will focus on the situational leadership theory and the transformational leadership theory to explain the Patrick Poena, how to use his leadership style to solve the ethical dilemma in this case. And finally, we will give the useful recommendation to improve the standard of leadership and management in the event of the similar ethical dilemma emerging in the future. Let's move on to background. Total Energies is a global oil and gas company, and its ambitions is to provide more affordable, a cleaner, more reliable, and accessible energy to people worldwide. In Figure 1, we can see that there are 4 different colors, which shows 4 different main activities of the Total Energies, respectively renewable energies, a natural gas, new molecules, and oil. And in 2021, Total Energies, the just net income achieved 18.1 billion. However, there are a lot of competitors such as PetroChina, BP, Chevron Corp, and stuff like that. In terms of the Patrick Poena, he is very careful employee safety. For example, he related employees' profit sharing and the reduction in workplace accidents in refineries. And also, he's a demanding boss. His staff often said he's a bulldozer. And he's very knowledgeable about his staff profile to make them to create the best interest for Total Energies. And finally, he's also a cost cutter. For example, he adapted Total to low oil price environment in long times for Total Energies to save cost. In terms of the case, on 2021, February 1st, the coup in Myanmar. In this case, military killed almost 1,005 people since the coup and detained thousands. In this situation, Total Energies firmly condemned on several occasions the abuses and human rights violations taking place there. So, what ethical dilemma will Patrick Poena face? So next, my team members Li Jintong will to talk about ethical dilemma.
Okay, thanks for my friend's excellent presentation. Next, I will be responsible to introduce the ethical dilemma to you. My name is Jintong Li. So first of all, what is ethics? Is the conformity to socially accepted moral virtues or principles of right conduct. So for an individual or an organization, when they are facing a tough decision, especially when their interest conflicts with the ethical principles, the ethical dilemma would appear. And next, I will analyze the ethical dilemma that Total Energy has faced. But before I start it, I just want to let you know that no matter what Total Energy has chosen, it's not about right or wrong. There's no clear definition about right or wrong, it's just a choice. Okay, so in response to the human rights issue, Total Energy CEO Patrick Pouyanné has to decide whether to continue operating in Myanmar to maintain the company's economic profitability or to perform ethical responsibility by implementing a series of methods to protect human rights. So there's two options here. And this table down below shows the impact of each one of the two different options. Based on my analysis, personally I believe Patrick has chosen the second one, which is option 2, to be ethical and protect human rights. So how he deal with this? First of all, he makes the company stop paying taxes to Burmese military government as the military's oppression is the key to human rights of Burmese people, and less government funding. And then establish a human rights committee to oversee rights, policies, and practices within this company. Last action is cessation of oil and gas development work in certain areas, such as Block A6 area, and withdrawing from formally ending operations and withdrawing from Myanmar in 2022. So what impact does Total Energy has received? First of all is the financial loss. Those operations in Myanmar are a significant source of revenue for Total Energy. Withdrawing from that area can result in economic loss. And in terms of the competitive advantage, actually Total Energy is not the only oil company that operating in Myanmar. Outside PTTEP, those competitors also got operations in that area as well. So withdrawing from Myanmar will remove Total Energy's competitive advantage and cause potentially market share loss. Last impact is the public opinion aspect. So Total Energy's exit can be regarded as a show of support for democracy and human rights in Myanmar, enhancing company's reputation and responsible corporate social image. Okay, my part is over now. Thanks for listening. Next, please welcome my teammate Zhiyuan Zhang to do the rest of the part. Thank you.
Everyone, my name is Juan Zhang, and I will introduce the theoretical and clean and leadership style. First, leadership styles are behavioral strategies used by leaders to sway, inspire, and guide their subordinates, and focus on the performance and the satisfactions of their employers. In general, person leadership styles different theories need to be used in various fields. So the next page, I will compare different theories to choose the theory that Patrick should give and judge his leadership style. The first things we say is the different theoretical factors. By comparing different theories, we can see that they are on the different place. The only topic of the discussion in behavioral theory is the actions and the behaviors of the leader. The situational theory places a strong emphasis on the appropriate response to the floor's situational maturity. Compared with the leader member exchange and the transformational theory, it pays more attention to the behavior of the both leaders and the subordinators. Secondly, we can compare the advantages and the limitations and conclude that the situational and the behavioral theory is more flexible, where the other two theories are more effective for the future development of the company and the employer. From the point of the view of the theoretical followers, I think the followers of transformational theory are small, and attention should be paid to aspects such as personal idealization and abuse of power by leaders. And country is exploring more benefits. For example, by taking distinct version of the group's objectives, transformational leaders take charge of issues. These individuals are capable of the varying and energizing the rest of the teams due to their obvious passion for the task at hand. Uh, Through the above compassion, I found that the theories adopted by Patrick should be transformational leadership is their theory, to be judged by four factors. First one is idealized influence. Patrick was create a culture of the conversation and accountability with the companies and has taken a strong stance on the issues such as climate change and energy transition. The next is directional motivation. He made clear to his staff his high standards and goals. The next is intellectual stimulation. He has created his leader advantages through a pair of significant transformation, including rebounding the company from total SA to total energies in uh, 2021 and committing a strategies of the transitioning to the renewable energy source. The last is the individualized consideration. Actually has actually has the importance of the transparency and open communicate, encourage dialogue with employers and stakeholders, and as a transformational lead is a pre-necessary class with implies domination, have a strong aspiration to influence others, self-confidence, and a stronger feeling for the individual moral values. Mm, heretical, uh, heretical, charismatical leaders of set high expectation and follows and show their have confidence in his ability to fulfill those expectations. At the same time, beside on his leadership style, as observed by media reports and interviews, it also be intrigued that Patrick about transformational leadership style and waiting from the level of the 4FS is import high impact for the employers. Oh, but the Patrick has demonstrated some quality of the transformational leadership. There are also some limitations to his approach, such as limited communication of the criticism or dissent. As I said before, transformation leadership has a potential for the abuse of power and the ridiculous the ultimate effects are follows and do not necessarily attain positive moral values. And then the next one is the communication difficulties. Because in some people's evaluation Patrick is he always right, but sometimes he need to notice everyone so bluntly or outlawed. But in general, I think the disadvantages the leadership outweighs the uh, I think the advantages of the leadership outweigh the disadvantages, and it is more conducive to the future development of the companies. I'm done. That's my team's member. Here will talk about rational for the leadership style.
Hello, I'm Jin Liu. I'm gonna talk about the rationale for leadership style for Patrick Poyana. We apply the situational leadership theory tool for this analysis. What is the situational leadership theory tool? It refers the relationship between the level of development on individual tasks and the leadership style provided by leader. and it can divide into two different types of behavior. The first one is directive, which means the leader tells followers what to do, how to do, where to do, and when to do it. The second one is supportive, which means the leader engages in open dialogue with followers and actively listens, acknowledges progress in relation to the task. Based on these two behaviors, we can divide the 4 different types of leadership style. Taking this figure as an example, we can see that the first one is directing, which high directive and low supportive behavior. And the second one is coaching, which is high directive and high supportive behavior. And the third one, S3, is supporting, which is low directive and high supportive behavior. And the S4, delegating, which is low directive and low supportive behavior. As for the 4 followers development level, there are 4 different types of levels of this model. D1 is low competence and high commitment, and D2 is low competence and low commitment, and D3 is high competence and low commitment, and D4 is high competence and high commitment. So the Patrick Payana leadership style belongs to the supporting, which is low directive and high supportive, because in the case, Patrick Payana encouraged the environment of open dialogue and trust in the company. What's more, Patrick Payana shows followers that they have confidence in their abilities to fulfill the leader's expectation. As for the followers' development level in total energies, it belongs to high competence and low commitment, D3. Because in the case, the company's decisions to leave from Myanmar is also took into account the union's recommendations. And Patrick Payana bases his decisions on the investigations of Myanmar's posting. So, based on our teammates' analysis, we can draw a conclusion that the dilemma of Patrick Payana is continuing to operate in Myanmar versus protecting human rights. And Patrick Payana's response is to stop paying taxes and establish human rights committee. As for the leadership style of Patrick Payana is transformational leadership, which is supported with low directive and high supportive. And the followers' development level is D3, which is high competence and low commitment. And the impact of Patrick Payana's leadership style is divided into 2 sides. As for the positive one, it helps with improving the employees' loyalty, and it is efficient to undertake the corporate responsibility and obligation. It also helps with improving the brand and reputation of the total energies. But as for negative, it is probably lose the economic profit, and the shareholders may not be satisfied and increase the difficulty of financing. Lastly, it is easy to mount on the pressures of starving arrangements after leaving Myanmar. So, in terms of this negative impact, we give some recommendations. The first one is Patrick Payana should strengthen the protection and focus on international labor human rights. And then he also should improve the problem-solving skills and actively communicate with the shareholders and stakeholders to mitigate economic losses. What's more, Patrick Payana should properly handle the resettlement of these employees who have lost their job as a result of this evaluation. And the last one is that Patrick Poyana should invest more in building image of companies, which may improve their reputation and enhance their brand image in customers.
Thank you very much to all my team members for their presentation. Finally, we will show reference using APA style about this presentation. That's all. Thank you for your listening.